Alright, hello everyone. This video, I guess, is a year in the making. I did make an announcement a little over a year ago that I was going to quit drinking. And I kind of want to make this video to reiterate why I did that in the first place. And what I learned in the last year of not drinking alcohol at all. So, why did I do it? Well, for those who remember, I did mention it last year. On August 29th of 2024, Johnny Gaudreau, who was an NHL hockey player for the Columbus Blue Jackets, played most of his career in Calgary, and his younger brother Matthew, who were both from South Jersey, were home for their sister's wedding, which was supposed to be on that Saturday. And the night before the wedding, they were biking to a friend's house, and they were both killed by someone who had been drinking. The person had a blood alcohol content of, I think, 0.087. They had reportedly had about 5 or 6 beers. And they were both killed. 2 fathers, 2 husbands, 2 brothers, 2 sons. Gone in an instant. And something about that just did something to me. I just found myself just kind of angry at it. It was sad. It was tragic. But more than that, it was just seemingly so unnecessary. So, like, such a waste. And I just found myself asking, why does this kind of thing happen so often in our country? Why do we seem to see these things happen regularly and just go on like nothing happened? And for me, for this particular instance, I couldn't just let this go without nothing happening, without me changing somehow. So I decided, I don't want to play the alcohol game anymore, so to speak. I found myself kind of mad at society a little bit for promoting alcohol the way we do. We just advertise it, we promote it, we market it, and it becomes enticing to everyone, to the point where the majority of adults in our country drink, at least casually. I think it's like 60-something%. And I just found myself angry at that. And I didn't want to take part in it anymore. So that's why I did it. What have I learned since doing this? Well, I definitely learned that I don't need alcohol to enjoy my life. I just don't. I don't miss the buzz. I don't miss much about it at all, really. I did find out that non-alcoholic beers taste just like regular beer. And the only difference is you can drink 5 of them and still drive home. So I did find that out. I found out that I think the main reason that I drank in the first place, and maybe this is the same for most people, wasn't because I was actively looking to get buzzed. It wasn't, somewhat maybe for the flavor. I like the taste of beer rather. So I did enjoy that. But I think more than those 2 things, it was the social expectation, the kind of social pressure that I think we all sometimes feel like when you're at a certain type of event. You feel like if you're not drinking a beer, you feel out of place. And that's how I felt. That there were times during the last year where I was at something where in the past I would have been drinking, everybody else was, and I wasn't. And yeah, that felt a little strange because of the social pressure of it. So I did learn that I can enjoy a concert and I can enjoy a sporting event. I can enjoy all these things without being buzzed. I didn't miss that part of it at all. As a matter of fact, that was the best part of it. Driving home after something where I normally maybe would have had a few beers. Driving home completely sober felt like I did something good. Like it was a smart thing. So yeah, I got a little upset at society for promoting drinking like we do, because we do. And I couldn't help but compare it to something else in our past. In this country's past, back in the mid-60s, in this country, approximately 45% of adults smoke cigarettes. At least casually. Some people only smoked once a week. But some people, 45% of adults smoke cigarettes. Think about that. Today, that number is under 10% for the first time last year. I think it finally went under 10%. It's like 8.9%. So when you think about that, now why did that happen? Well, it happened because once the data started rolling in about just how dangerous cigarettes were and how much disease and death they were causing with cancer and emphysema and all kinds of other things that attributed to cigarette smoking, we as a country decided this is not something we should be promoting. We shouldn't be trying to entice people to become smokers by advertising on TV and billboards and magazines and everywhere, basically. Cigarettes were advertised back then. Not only that, but people in movies smoked and TV shows smoked. Smoking was promoted. It was actually advertised and promoted in our culture. That's why so many people did it. But like I said, when we discovered it was bad for us, we changed our mind about that, and we said, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to promote it. We're not going to let people advertise it. We're not going to target kids. We're not going to allow that. We want to get people to not smoke because it's not good. And that was a successful story. Think about the millions of lives that have been extended, people who didn't die in their 30s and 40s and 50s of lung cancer because of what we did and decided it wasn't good. Well, it's my opinion after this last year and all that I've exposed myself to as far as the data goes, that I think we should take that same stance with alcohol. I think we need to stop promoting the idea that adults in this society somehow need to drink to enjoy everything we do, whether it's a wedding or a baseball game or a football game or a concert or just about anything we do in our society. Alcohol is there everywhere, and we promote it. We have commercials that advertise it. We have movies that glamorize it. There are songs that, I just was listening to one the other day, a song by Thomas Rhett, who I like a lot, but he's got a song called Beer Can't Fix. And if you listen to the lyrics, please Google them. It just tells about how great beer is and it can fix any problem you have. From the moment that it hits your lips, makes the clouds look a little less gray. Ain't no problem that a beer can't fix. And that's kind of how we look at beer a lot of times, in alcohol in our society. It's like a magic elixir that fixes all our problems and makes us feel better. But the truth is, it doesn't. The truth is, more studies are coming out all the time about just how dangerous it is to our health, to our mental health, to our physical health. And the problems that it causes in society with alcoholic parents and alcoholic spouses and the abuse that people suffer, it's just hard for me to make the argument that we shouldn't do that we shouldn't maybe try to stop promoting it so heavily, so it's so expected of everyone to drink. So that's kind of how I feel about alcohol now. I just feel like I don't want anyone to misunderstand. I'm not a teetotaler. I'm not saying we should make alcohol illegal or anything stupid like that. I do believe in a God that turned water into wine, so I believe that it's doesn't have to be the bad thing that it is, but unfortunately, like most things that we use in our lives, it can be used in a proper way and it can be used in an improper way. And unfortunately, too many people use it in an improper way. So I think we should change the way we look at it. Maybe stop promoting, just like we did cigarettes. That was a huge success story that we did with cigarette smoking. And it saved millions of lives. And it's hard for me to not make the argument that if we did the same thing with alcohol, that it would make a lot of people's lives better and would make society better. So that's kind of how I feel about it. And as far as me going forward, it's my plan to not drink anymore. I can't think of a good reason why, after going without for a year, that I would go back to it. Like I said, I didn't miss the buzz. I don't need to get buzzed anymore. I still can have the taste. I still like a Corona non-alcoholic beer with a lime, and it tastes just like a Corona. But like I said, I can drink 5 of them and still drive home safely. So that's kind of how I feel about drinking now. I hope I'm not offending anybody. I know this is maybe a little... Some people might see this as being a little over the top, a little harsh. But it's just the way I feel after the last year. Once you go on Facebook and Facebook algorithm knows that you're quitting drinking, it funnels you a lot of videos and things to look at. And I've seen a lot of testimonies from celebrities who had to quit drinking because it just ruined their lives. And there's so many stories of drinking ruining people's lives that I just feel like we need to stop pushing it like we do, so that when every 21-year-old on their birthday feels like they have to go out to the bar and get drunk and throw up and pass out and wake up with a hangover. And it's like a rite of passage in our society that you have to get drunk on your 21st birthday. And I just think we need to stop that. So that's that. I'm going to wrap it up with a question. And I don't expect people to answer this in the question in the comments. I really don't even want you to, actually. But I want you to think this to yourself. And this is something I've thought about a lot. And the question is, do the benefits that alcohol brings to our lives and our society, I know that sounds funny even saying that, as if there are benefits, but are the benefits of getting buzzed and drunk and of alcohol, what it brings to our society, are they worth the price that we have to pay? Are they worth the cost in lives and lost productivity and abuse? Are they worth Johnny and Matthew? I think you know what my answer is. I don't think they are. So I just think we need to rethink how we think of alcohol and whether or not we want to invite it to all of our important events in life. So I hope I've given you something to think about. I've thought about this a lot over the last year, and I hope that you can think about it too, and maybe make a change if you feel inspired. So God bless everyone. Have a great day, as always, and I'll see you around. Bye.